Is Vince really single, or has he already moved on inside the Big Brother house? What started as playful flirting between Vince and Morgan has now spiraled into a full-on showmance, with fans split down the middle, some calling it love, others calling it betrayal. But just when Vince seemed comfortable showing off his connection with Morgan, one unexpected moment shook his confidence completely, a family video message that left him anxious, second-guessing, and asking questions he might not be ready to answer. Because while Vince is cozying up to Morgan on national TV, there's still someone waiting for him outside the house, or at least, there used to be, and the silence from that person might be the loudest message of all. The growing Cheatmance. Inside the Big Brother house, Vince and Morgan's bond has become impossible to ignore. What began as harmless banter quickly turned into late-night conversations, lingering touches, and moments that left fans wondering if this was more than just strategy. Before long, Vince was openly calling Morgan his wife and sliding under the covers with her at night, making their connection look like a full-on romance rather than a casual friendship. The cameras captured it all, the laughter, the whispers, and the kind of closeness that made other housemates raise their eyebrows. Social media didn't waste time either, with viewers dubbing the pair's relationship a cheatmance. After all, Vince already has someone waiting outside the house, his girlfriend, Kelsey. But in the bubble of reality TV, where isolation blurs judgment and the game thrives on drama, Vince didn't seem worried. He leaned into the attention, showing off his new bond with Morgan as if the outside world didn't exist. At least, until one moment reminded him that it very much does. The family video shock. Every season of Big Brother has that one emotional moment when houseguests get a glimpse of the outside world. For Vince, that moment came when a family video message popped up on the screen. He expected to see a mix of familiar faces, maybe his parents, maybe Kelsey, but instead, the message was only from his mom and dad. At first, he smiled. Seeing his parents was comforting, a reminder that people on the outside were rooting for him. But as the seconds ticked by, his expression shifted. Where was Kelsey? Why hadn't she been included? The silence from the one person he probably wanted to hear from most spoke volumes. Later, Vince admitted in the diary room that he was thrown off. He said it was great to see his parents, but he couldn't hide his disappointment that Kelsey wasn't the one sending him encouragement. The cameras caught him looking uneasy, replaying the message in his head, and even questioning what her absence might mean for his relationship. And that's when the doubts really started to sink in. Vince's diary room confession. When the diary room doors closed behind him, Vince finally let his guard down. What came out wasn't just strategy talk or gameplay analysis, it was raw honesty. He admitted that while seeing his parents lifted his spirits, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. The absence of Kelsey in that message wasn't just surprising, it was worrying. He confessed to being caught off guard, saying that he fully expected to hear from her. Instead, he was left questioning whether she was even watching the show with the same affection he had walked in with. For the first time since the start of his connection with Morgan, Vince looked genuinely conflicted. He talked about how isolating the Big Brother house can be, and how easy it is to latch onto the one person who makes you feel secure. That, he admitted, was why he leaned so heavily on Morgan, why the flirtation had grown into something deeper. But beneath his words was an undercurrent of guilt, as if he knew the outside world might see things very differently than he did in that diary room. Still, he tried to reassure himself, and maybe the viewers too, that nothing he had done had crossed the line. At least, not yet. But fans watching from home weren't buying it. Fans react to the situation. The moment Vince opened up in the diary room, fans were already buzzing online. Clips of him calling Morgan his wife and snuggling with her under the covers quickly made the rounds on social media. Some viewers labeled him unfaithful, arguing that his actions went beyond innocent fun. Others accused him of trying to play both sides, keeping Morgan close in the house while hoping Kelsey would still be waiting outside. Memes popped up almost instantly, mocking his diary room confession and highlighting the awkwardness of expecting a message from Kelsey that never came. On Twitter and Reddit, debates raged. Was Vince simply lonely and craving connection in an isolated house, or was he deliberately ignoring the fact that he had a girlfriend at home? Not everyone condemned him, though. A section of fans defended Vince, saying the so-called cheatmance was just a coping mechanism. They argued that life in the Big Brother house is designed to push people into emotional bonds, and that his closeness with Morgan might be more about survival than betrayal. But regardless of which side fans were on, one thing was clear. Vince's outside relationship with Kelsey had suddenly become the center of attention. And that's where the real question begins: what does this mean for her? The outside girlfriend factor. Before stepping into the Big Brother house, Vince wasn't shy about his relationship with Kelsey. Friends and followers knew her as the woman by his side, someone he spoke about with pride. But as the weeks rolled on inside the house, her name faded from Vince's conversations, replaced by Morgan's laughter and late-night whispers. So when that family video message aired without Kelsey, fans immediately noticed. Was it simply a production choice, or was it a sign that things had already fallen apart outside the house? The lack of acknowledgement stirred speculation that Kelsey might have distanced herself from Vince after watching his growing closeness with Morgan play out on national television. Some viewers pointed out that her silence could mean she's done with the relationship altogether, while others argued she might just be waiting until the show ends to have a private conversation. Either way, her absence created a storm of questions. If Kelsey still considered herself Vince's girlfriend, wouldn't she have sent him a few words of encouragement? The unanswered silence hung heavier than any spoken message could, and it left Vince stuck in a place no reality star wants to be, caught between love on the inside and loyalty on the outside. But while Vince worried about Kelsey, another person in the house seemed completely unbothered: Morgan's side of the story. While Vince wrestled with doubt, Morgan seemed to move full speed ahead. From her perspective, their connection inside the house looked effortless, laughing at each other's jokes, sharing secrets under the covers, and leaning on each other when the stress of the game got too heavy. To her, this wasn't just casual comfort, it felt like the start of something real. She never shied away from the attention either, whether it was playful banter in front of the other houseguests or quiet moments that looked straight out of a rom-com. Morgan leaned in without hesitation, and fans noticed. Some argued she must not know, or at least not care, about Vince's girlfriend on the outside. Others speculated she knew the truth but believed their bond was stronger than whatever he left behind. In the world of Big Brother, where every action is scrutinized and every word can change the game, Morgan's openness added fuel to the fire. To viewers, it looked less like a strategic alliance and more like genuine affection, and that only made the silence from Kelsey sting louder. But the drama didn't stop with the houseguests themselves. There's a reason Big Brother is known as one of the most manipulative shows on television. The producer's role. Big Brother has built its reputation on more than just gameplay, it thrives on emotional tension. Every season, the producers know exactly when to drop a twist, reveal a secret, or deliver a message that stirs up chaos. And many fans believe Vince's situation is no different. The decision to air a video message from his parents without including Kelsey felt almost too perfect to be accidental. Some viewers suggested the producers deliberately left her out, knowing it would rattle Vince and spark speculation both inside the house and online. After all, a shaken contestant makes for great TV, and nothing keeps audiences glued to the screen like a messy love triangle. By holding back Kelsey's voice, the show may have amplified Vince's doubts and forced him to lean even harder on Morgan. It's a classic Big Brother tactic, manipulating relationships just enough to keep fans talking without directly interfering in the game. And if that was the goal, it worked. Vince was left spiraling, Morgan was pulled closer, and Kelsey became the silent character everyone wanted answers from. But when the cameras stop rolling and the house doors finally open, where does that leave Vince? What happens next for Vince? With the house divided, fans debating, and Kelsey's silence echoing louder than any message could, Vince is standing at a crossroads. Every move he makes from here on out will be under a microscope. If he keeps leaning on Morgan, the Cheatmance label will only grow stronger, and the outside world may see it as a final betrayal of Kelsey. But if he pulls back now, he risks losing the one emotional anchor that's been keeping him sane in the Big Brother pressure cooker. The reality is that Vince doesn't have the luxury of pausing the game to figure out his love life. Every diary room confession, every shared glance with Morgan, and every decision he makes is being recorded, edited, and broadcast to millions. And when the season wraps, he won't just face the fans, he'll have to face Kelsey, Morgan, and the fallout of every choice he made under the watchful eye of Big Brother. The question on everyone's mind is simple but brutal. Is Vince really single? Or is he playing with fire on both sides? And the answer may not come until the house doors finally swing open.